It's been a while since I completed my series of tutorials on Title Studio. Recently, Vegas Pro was acquired by Boris FX, and due to this, Title Studio, which is a Boris FX product, is included in all versions of Vegas Pro 2026. I realize that many users new to Vegas Pro 2026 may not be familiar with Title Studio. Because of this, I decided to tailor this tutorial, and possibly more, for the Title Studio novice. I won't be going into great detail. I'll just provide enough information so that basic titles can be created. I'll emphasize, this tutorial is not aimed at those who have extensive experience with Title Studio. Title Studio is a video effect, so normally it is applied directly to a video event. However, there is a disadvantage to using this method. Because Title Studio is applied to the video event, the title will appear throughout the event length. You will no doubt not want this to happen. The only way to reduce the title length is by applying keyframes in the Title Studio interface. I never use that method. Another way is to apply it to an empty event or adjustment event directly above the video event. This avoids the disadvantage of applying it directly to the video event. The empty or adjustment event length can then be changed to the desired title length. I'll describe the second method here, mainly because I think it's the best. I'm going to use an empty event first, because I want to show a disadvantage using this type of event. I have on the timeline a video event that I want to create a title or lower third for. I assume that you are aware of the method of applying the effect, so I won't describe that. For this method, you need a video track above the video event. Now I need to create a loop region whose length will be the title length. I'll right-click inside the loop region and select Insert Empty Event. Now I'll apply the Title Studio effect to the empty event. This opens up the Vegas Pro interface for Title Studio. I won't describe this in detail. I described it in Tutorial 50 in my series on Title Studio. The video preview window will show the default title superimposed over the video event. If it shows over a black background, open up the composite drop-down arrow and set the apply mode to normal. I want to now show why I prefer using an adjustment event. I'll select the FX Browse button. As you can see, the title text now is not superimposed over the video event. This also happens in the Advanced mode. It's very difficult to place the text in the desired position if you can't see the video. Now I'm going to replace the empty event with an adjustment event. The text is now superimposed onto the video. This makes it much easier to position it. I'll deal with the FX browser shortly. With the initial user interface, your options for creating the title of your choice is limited. For instance, using the composite menu, you can alter the brightness, contrast, and opacity of the text. Also, you can change the compositing mode of the text. However, this requires a knowledge of the many ways of compositing the text with the video, so is not appropriate for this tutorial. The transformations options are normally disabled. To enable these, place a check mark in the Use Transformations checkbox. These options allow a number of ways to manipulate the text string. I won't go through these, as most of them are self-explanatory. Some may not be. Position Z, for example. This moves the text in the Z plane, which is forward or backward. By the way, to return the slider to the default position, double-click it. The master scale affects the size of the text in all three planes. You can rotate the text using the 3 rotate sliders. You can move the text by using the position XY parameters or the red cross on the preview window. There's a preset drop-down menu allowing you to apply one of the many presets to your text. I'd advise not to use this preset menu. Without trying each one, you don't know the effect. It's better to use the FX browser option, which I'll deal with shortly. By the way, if you do apply one of the presets, you can only get back to the default text by clicking the preset drop-down at the top of the user interface and select Default. The problem with this user interface is that you can't edit the text string. For that, you need to open up the FX browser. So we'll now look at this. I described this user interface in detail in tutorial 51. I shan't be detailing the presets. Suffice to say that clicking on a particular preset will apply that preset to the current title. To see the effect of an animated preset, click the play icon. Underneath the preview screen, there's a field labelled Text 1. This is where you change the text string. Having done this, apply the text by clicking Insert Text. If you're happy with the title as it is, you can click the Apply button, which will close the FX browser and apply the title to the video event. Further manipulation of the text string can then be made if required using the default user interface as I described earlier. You can see that a major disadvantage with using the FX browser is that it's not possible to change the font of the text or its color. To do that, you need to open up the Advanced Mode window. From the default user interface, click the Launch UI window button. Now, I don't intend to cover the basics of this user interface. I simply want to describe how to change the font and font color. If you want to delve deeper into this interface, check out Tutorial 53. To change the font size, it's necessary to first select the text element in the lower left section of the timeline window. If you want only part of the text string changing, simply highlight that part. The font size is controlled by the value in this field. The font of the selected text is determined by the setting in the font drop-down menu. There are also two arrows that can be used to select the previous and next font in the font list. Unfortunately, there's no visual representation of the font, so it's a case of trying them out, I'm afraid. I'll leave it at the default. To change the color with the text or part of the text selected, click the color icon. Here you can change the color, the text opacity, and whether the text has a gradient. I'll just change the color. This is done by either entering the RGB values in the three fields, by clicking the colored icon, or by using the dropper to select a color. I'll use the colored icon for this demonstration. This opens up the Color Chooser interface. Here I can choose how to select the color. I'll click a color in the color swatch. After choosing the color, it will be shown in the box under the swatch. To apply the color, click OK. Note that choosing a color in this way only applies to what's called flat text. Another method needs to be used to apply color to extruded text. Finally, you'll need to position the text. This can be done easily using the on-screen controls. Click and hold the green arrowhead and move the mouse to move the text string vertically. Click and hold the red arrowhead and move the mouse to move the text string horizontally. Hover the mouse near where the two arrows join and a yellow box will appear. Click and hold inside this box and move the mouse to move the text string in both directions. So that's all the information required to create simple titles in Title Studio. I completely understand that the user who is new to Title Studio may only want to create simple titles and lower thirds. However, Title Studio is a very powerful title application that's capable of very complex three-dimensional titles. It's worth spending some time experimenting with these features to learn how to use them. That's the way I learned to use it. The two titles at the beginning of this tutorial were created with Title Studio. Anyway, I think one more tutorial is called for. In the next one, I'll show how to create extruded text and how to apply colors and textures to it. Join me for that if you can, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Until next time, bye for now.